Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. As you guys can see by the title and the thumbnail of this video, we're doing quarter two, the good, the bad, and the disappointing. Oh my gosh, how is it already quarter two? How is quarter two already over? How are we already halfway through this year? This is insane to me. This year is flying by. But yeah, let's talk the good, the bad, the disappointing. Now, we're obviously starting with the good. And in quarter one, I literally only had one book that I felt like was okay to talk about for the good, but this is the good for this quarter. So, for the good, we read Problematic Summer Romance by Hazelwood. This is book 2 in the Not in Love books. So this one, Not in Love, follows Eli and Rue, and this one follows Maya and Connor. And Connor is Eli's co-worker. They both work together. And Maya is Eli's little brother. But basically, it's an age gap romance, which I eat up every single time. But Maya and Connor have some animosity. They really try to steer clear of each other, and well, they're on an island together on vacation, and who can deny themselves the love that they've been asking for so long while on vacation? Nobody. So Problematic Summer Romance by Hazelwood was so good. And then the next 3 are part of a series. I don't mean to brag, but yes, I am reading this series for the first time, and it is the Magnolia Parks series. I have read book 1, book 2, and book 3 this quarter. I literally don't know, like, can you guys see how obsessed I am with these books? Because I don't know if I could talk about how much I love these books enough. These books are very much so toxic romances. There's not a whole lot of relationship advice that you're going to get from these books. And with that being said, do not go into these books thinking that they are a relationship that you should be looking up to, because they are absolutely not. But like I said, I have read book 1, 2, and 3. Book 1 is Magnolia Parks. This one follows BJ and Magnolia. Basically, BJ and Magnolia have been together their entire lives, but something has gone wrong in their relationship that causes a whole lot of not so good things to happen in this book. A whole lot of anger and cheating and lying and everything under the sun that you could possibly think of as toxic is what happens in this book. But this book was fantastic. I rated this one a 4.75. I loved this book. I loved it, loved it, loved it. But yeah, spent most of the book hating BJ, spent some of the book loving BJ. And then book 2 is Daisy Hates. This one follows Daisy and Christian. And once again, very toxic romance. Do not look at these relationships as something to look up to, because they are not. But this one follows Daisy, who is the sister, the younger sister of Julian Hates. And Julian is a super known, how do I want to explain this? Julian is the scariest man on the planet, the scariest person in London, because he's a major gang lord, like the gang lord of London. And Daisy is his little sister, and Daisy and Christian have a very toxic romance, because why wouldn't they? And a whole lot of stuff happens in this, and the way that this one was written, I don't know if you guys can see, but there were like footnotes at the bottom of some of the pages, and I felt like the footnotes added to this book so much, because Daisy is a med student, so it felt very, very, very helpful to learning who Daisy is as a person, because she is a very academic, like, based woman. So having a book that's kind of academic in a way with the footnotes, I really think adds to her character and adds to the story so much. 4.75. And then I read book 3, which is Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home. This one is again with BJ and Magnolia, but this is not a continuation. I mean, it is a continuation, but it's not at the same time. This one basically follows BJ and Magnolia from the past to the present. So we are learning a lot of backstory with BJ and Magnolia in this book, and it was the most devastating read I had this quarter. I was in love with every single sentence that I read in this book. This book was devastating, and I will say check the trigger warnings on, I mean, all of these books, but especially check the trigger warnings on this one, because this book covers some really heavy topics, some topics that some people have fears of and I have fears of, so this book was very heavy. So definitely check the trigger warnings for this one in particular. But this was my first 5-star from the Magnolia Park series, but the series altogether is a 5-star. But this is my favorite out of the series so far. Bad book that I read this month was, once again, not a bad book this month. Why do I keep doing that? This quarter. So I read 2 bad books this quarter, and whenever I say bad books, I don't mean bad in the sense of I hated every second of them. I mean bad as in the way of, let's just get into these books, right? The first bad book from this quarter was the Zodiac Academy. It was not a bad book. I had to soft DNF it. It was just not the book for me at the time. So I am putting it under the bad because I could not get through it. I will definitely be coming back to that one though. So whenever I say bad, I don't mean bad. I just mean that they were just the unlucky books out of this quarter. And the second bad book that I had on this list was Gild by Raven Kennedy, which was book 1 in the Plated Prisoner series. Once again, it was not a bad book. I enjoyed it a lot. I rated it a 3.75. The reason I'm putting it as a bad book is because I feel like the trigger warnings for this book were not stated quick enough. I feel like these trigger warnings for this book should have been put on the front page of this book, and it was just not. So that's why I'm putting it under the bad category, because I feel like the trigger warnings were not easily accessible, and I ended up reading like 30% of this book not knowing what I was getting into, and then things start happening, and it was something that wasn't necessarily triggering for me, but it was triggering. I did not enjoy reading about it. I did not enjoy that portion of the story, but altogether it was an okay book. It wasn't awful, but it was definitely under the bad category because of the fact that the trigger warnings were not stated. And that book is a King Midas retelling, so you can only imagine the stuff that goes on in that book. But then we are getting into the disappointing. And I only had one disappointing read this quarter, and the reason it was disappointing was because I was having a hard time with the third person POV. And that is Emma by Jane Austen. Once again, it's not a bad book. I loved this book a lot. I rated the book a 4-star. Once again, the issue for me was the third person. I was having such a hard time getting over that third person POV. It was making it really difficult for me to get through this book, and it was making it very difficult for me to want to continue reading said book. But that's why it's under the disappointing category. So let's go back through again. The Good, Problematic Summer Romance, and the Magnolia Park series, the books 1 through 3 so far. The bad was Zodiac Academy and Gild, and the disappointing was Emma by Jane Austen. Ooh, these are paperbacks. This is actually kind of hard to hold. But yeah, these are my good, bad, disappointing. I Hope you guys had such a good reading quarter. Let me know down in the comments what your good, bad, and disappointing books were for this quarter. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment downstairs. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.